There, I'll watch your freaking Hobbit movies and read your freaking Hobbit book. I did it, okay? I freaking did it! All three. So if you want to see my reviews for the Lord of the Rings movies and all the Hobbit movies after this, you can. Because I did it. I watched all the movies. And the Hobbit movies are terrible. I'm sorry, they just are. As like a whole, if you're gonna, like, they are entertaining. They are very well acted. They are, they have a pretty good score. They have all these good things going for them. The visual effects are overdone and they're not very good for the majority of them. They're not quite terrible or bad, but there's just too much green screen, and some of these effects do look really bad. A lot of it doesn't. It just looks like, you can tell that's a visual CG effect because there's so much of it that you can't, it's kind of gross looking. I don't know. It just looks awkward to me. There's just so much of it. But why these movies suck so much is when you really think about it, the Lord of the Rings movies would never have been as popular or as good as they are or beloved as they are if they didn't stick that ending. There's 3 movies, okay? Force Awakens, liked movie, just like Fellowship. Last Jedi, not liked movie, right? But then you get to Rise of Skywalker, the ending is awful, so everybody hates the trilogy. It's, there is no debate. That's just how it is, right? Because the ending is terrible. You watch 3 movies hoping that they all are good and stick to the ending. This is just horrible. Just a terrible ending because it's so overly long. I complained about Desolation of Smog or Smag, however you say it. I don't even know how to say it, but how it just ended with this thing that should have been like these movies were intended to be 2 movies, should have been 2 movies, and so everything in this movie should have been shortened down and just put in the second movie. There was 10 minutes of this movie just taken up by all the smog stuff, which should have been in Desolation of Smog, or Smog, or however you say it. And it's not there, and now it's here, and it interrupts the story going on here. And there's just a lot happening, but it's not entertaining. It's really boring because it's just sequences that could be like 5 minutes, but they are stretched out to 20 minutes. And it just keeps going and going and going, and it's freaking boring. It's not that the sequence of events that are happening are bad, it's just that they're poorly paced because they stretched it out so long through 3 different movies when they didn't have to be. This is the objective best one because it gets to the main point through the majority of the movie. This one's slightly better. Slightly better than 5 Armies, but there's nothing happening here to really completely say that. But then once you get to Battle of 5 Armies, it just makes those movies seem all like a waste of time. There's just it sets up the trilogy, but not in a way like the Star Wars prequels where it's like, yep, that's how the story got started. No, it's just like you're just watching these random prequels that tell a decent story that's stretched out to an overly long 3-hour movies, and there's 3 of them, and it's so irritating to watch. Say what you will about the Star Wars prequels, but at least you could say that's the start of the franchise. You could say, yes, this is how it all got started. You still should probably start with the originals, though, I'm just saying. But yeah, there's no reason to watch the Hobbits. There's no reason to watch the Star Wars prequels either, but at least you could argue there might be a reason to watch them. I would say there still isn't, but there's no reason to watch these Hobbit movies. Some people like them, though, so I can understand if you do. I'm not saying they're all bad, because they're, the first 2 are actually pretty entertaining. I don't agree with the 3rd one at all. It is kind of poorly paced, and I find them boring. personally, but I think the first two are all right, and that you could watch them and find them entertaining, because a lot of people do, and a lot of people like them. There's a decent reception of these movies. I don't think they're good, and I think the story, there are aspects here that are better than the books, like it being Bilbo's choice to go on the adventure, unlike in the book. A lot of the casting, is fantastic, and a lot of the acting, and there's also like, I'm forgetting the character's name. The character kills Smag, however you say it. He gets a lot more. He gets fleshed out a lot more instead of just being a random character who just randomly shows up just to kill the dragon in the book. That's an inspired choice. That, there are aspects to these movies that are better than the movies, and I appreciate them. Or not better than movies, better than the books. I mean, the book, not books, because it's 3 movies for 1 freaking book. Again, it's an issue, but it's decent, I guess. But in the long run, I don't know how many people are going to be talking about The Hobbit as much as they talk about the Lord of the Rings movies. Those are the ones everybody's seen, and they're a lot better. They're a lot more entertaining. They're better made movies, and they have a better conclusion instead of just being nothing. There's no reason to watch these movies. But some people like them, and I can respect that, but they're not good, though. I just can't. I'm done with them. But yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Bye, guys.